Welcome back to our channel, Step by Step with Jesus. We're so glad you've joined us for another adventure. Today, we're diving into a very special lesson, one that can change the way we see the world and everyone in it. It's a simple idea, but it's one of the most powerful lessons Jesus ever taught. Get ready for episode 10, The Golden Rule. It was a bright and peaceful morning, the kind that makes you feel like anything is possible. The soft morning sun cast a warm, golden glow over the dusty path just outside the village of Nazareth. Jesus and his friends, Matthew, Paul, and Anna, were walking together, their simple sandals brushing against the earth. The air was filled with the gentle sounds of the awakening village and their own cheerful chatter. Matthew smiled, taking a deep breath of the fresh air. "I really like mornings like this," he said, looking at his friends. "Everything just feels so calm and right." Anna, always one to see the bright side, added, "and full of possibilities. It feels like we could do anything today." Jesus, walking alongside them with a gentle and thoughtful expression, nodded. He looked at his friends with warmth in his eyes. "Every single day is a new chance," he began, his voice calm and clear. "It's a chance for us to show kindness and to make a difference, even in small ways. Always remember how we choose to treat others is one of the most important things we do." His friends listened closely, knowing his words always held a deeper meaning. They continued their walk, the quiet wisdom of his words settling in their hearts as they headed toward the village. As they approached the center of the village, they came to the community well, a bustling spot where people gathered to fetch water and share the morning's news. A small group of children was already there. As Jesus and his friends got closer, they saw a boy named John struggling. He was smaller than the others and was having a hard time lifting his heavy, water-filled bucket. Two older boys stood nearby, not offering to help, but laughing at his struggle. Paul, who had a strong sense of fairness, whispered to his friends, his brow furrowed with concern, "That's not nice at all. Look at them just standing there." Anna's heart went out to the boy. "He looks so embarrassed," she said softly, watching as John's face turned red. "I wish they would stop." Jesus saw the situation and the hurt on John's face. He turned to Paul and Anna and asked the simple, powerful question. "Let's go help him," he said, his voice full of compassion. "Think about it. How would we feel if that were us, struggling while others just watched and laughed?" Without waiting for an answer, Jesus stepped forward. He walked directly to John and knelt beside him, his presence immediately changing the atmosphere. "Here, let me help you with that," Jesus said kindly, placing his hands on the bucket alongside John's. Together, they solidly lifted the heavy load. The two boys who had been laughing fell silent, looking surprised to see someone stepping in to help instead of joining their teasing. Jesus then looked up at the two boys, not with anger, but with a gentle, understanding gaze. "It feels so much better when we lift each other up, doesn't it?" he said calmly. "It's much better than pushing each other down." His words were simple, but they hit their mark. The boys looked at the ground, a flicker of shame and realization on their faces. They hadn't thought about how their actions were affecting John. After a moment, one of them took a hesitant step forward. "We can help carry it," he offered quietly, reaching for the other side of the bucket. In that small moment, a lesson was learned, not just by the boys, but by everyone who witnessed it. Kindness had turned a moment of hurt into a moment of help. With the situation at the well resolved, the children continued on their way, heading towards the vibrant marketplace. The market was a whirlwind of activity, a tapestry of sights, sounds, and smells. Stalls were overflowing with colorful fruits, fragrant spices, and handmade crafts. People were calling out, bartering, and laughing. As the friends navigated through the crowd, a vendor carrying a large basket of figs hurried past and accidentally bumped right into Paul. The jolt caused Paul to stumble, and a few of the figs he had just bought tumbled from his own small basket, scattering across the dusty ground. The vendor, in a rush, turned around with a frown, looking more annoyed than apologetic. "Watch where you're going," he grumbled. For a second, Paul felt a flash of frustration. It wasn't his fault. He could have easily gotten upset and argued back. But then, he remembered Jesus' words from earlier that morning, and the scene at the well. He took a breath, his shoulders relaxing. Oh, I dropped them, I sighed, simply looking at the figs on the ground. Jesus stepped forward, his presence always a source of calm. It was just an accident, he said, looking from Paul to the vendor with a reassuring smile. These things happen in a busy market. Let's help clean it up together. Without another word, Jesus knelt and began picking up the fallen figs. Anna and Matthew immediately joined in, seeing their kindness. Paul knelt too, his frustration replaced with a sense of purpose. Even the vendor's expression soft. He watched them for a moment, then bent down to help, his earlier annoyance completely gone. Together, all of them gathered the figs in just a few moments. The vendor stood up, a genuine smile now on his face. He looked at the children with newfound respect. "Thank you, children," he said warmly. "That was very kind of you. I was in a rush, and I was grumpy. You've reminded me to be more patient." Paul felt a warmth spread through his chest. He could have gotten angry, but instead, by choosing a different path, he had helped turn a negative moment into a positive one. He looked over at Jesus, who gave him a small, encouraging nod. Paul realized that treating others the way you want to be treated wasn't just about being nice. It made everything better for everyone involved. It was a powerful feeling. Later that afternoon, after their time in the village, the group of friends found their favorite spot. It was a large, ancient fig tree with sprawling branches that created a perfect, shady canopy. They had shared many conversations and adventures under this very tree. They settled down in the cool grass, a gentle breeze rustling the leaves above them, creating a peaceful, whispering sound. They were all quiet for a moment, thinking about the events of the day. Anna was the first to speak, her voice thoughtful. "John looked so happy when we helped him at the well," she recalled. "His whole face just lit up when he realized we were there to help, not to laugh." Matthew nodded in agreement, and the vendor in the market, he was so grateful too. He was grumpy at first, but our help completely changed his attitude. He ended up smiling. Paul, who had experienced the lesson most directly, looked at his hands, remembering picking up the figs. "I guess it really does matter how we treat people," he said, finally understanding the depth of what Jesus had been teaching them. "I was ready to be angry, but Helbin felt so much better." Jesus, who had been listening with a warm, patient smile, looked at each of his friends. "Exactly," he said, his voice full of love and wisdom. "When we choose to treat others with kindness and understanding, we are building bridges of love between us. Think of it like that. Every kind act is like placing a stone to build a strong bridge. And the most wonderful part," he continued, "is that the way we act can inspire others to do the same. Your kindness to the vendor might make him kinder to the next person he meets. It spreads." And so, on that beautiful afternoon under the fig tree, Jesus and his friends truly understood the heart of the Golden Rule. It's a lesson that is as true today as it was then. The core message is about empathy and kindness. It's about putting yourself in someone else's shoes and choosing to treat them with the love and respect you would want for yourself. This simple rule has the power to guide all our actions. As the Bible tells us in the book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 12, "So in everything, do to others what you would have them do to you." This isn't just a suggestion. It's a guide for a better, more compassionate life. When we lead with empathy, when we choose kindness over anger, and when we help instead of judge, we help make the world a brighter and more loving place for everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Step by Step with Jesus. We hope this story of the Golden Rule has inspired you. Think about one small way you can apply this lesson in your life today. If you enjoyed our story, please give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell so you won't miss our next adventure together. We love sharing these stories with you. Until next time, walk in kindness.